This is an interesting subject because there was 2 incidents this weekend, and there's been a lot more throughout the NFL and the NBA, including as well. But are referees getting too involved with players going forward in the NFL and the NBA? We've seen it a lot more in the NBA the past couple of years. But this past weekend, we saw a ref grab a placeholder and drag him away from the field goal being able to be kicked. So the kicker couldn't even get a practice field goal in. Like, what the fuck was that about? And then another ref tracks down Joey Bosa to ask him, like, hey, what the fuck did you just say to me? And he's like, you want me to say it again? And they got into it. And that ref tracked him down. Like, that's beyond insane. Refs are getting, like, when players are talking trash, right? Like they normally do to refs, like, hey, you missed a call here, your ass, a couple of these other things. Refs are getting closer to these players, trying to insinuate shit. And we're seeing that in the NBA as well. What was a couple years ago? Oh man, what was his name? That guy that the ref headbutted that guy, the player. Who was that? Oh man, I can't remember. But the ref got so close to the player that they thought the player didn't initiate the headbutt. The ref leaned in, and the player was like, "Oh, you fucking want the smoke?" and gave him one right back. But, man, referees are getting way too involved with players. Or
I don't know. I think it's always been like that. I mean, even if you look at old like 70s and 80s tapes, like, you know, they're always jawing the refs and always jawing back and forth. As far as like touching them, they should not be touching the players. Like they should not have grabbed the one guy for the practice kick. Like I think that was an emotional thing. We don't hear.
Thomas Morstead he dragged down, wasn't it?
No, it was the Jags kicker.
Yeah, it was the Jags.
Was it?
It was the Jags holder. Yeah.
Yeah, if I find that guy, I'm literally turning around and letting that ref have a fucking earful.
Right. I think, and he might have got fined for that. I mean, you know, we don't hear too, unless it's like a huge deal, we don't hear too much discipline on refs. But as far as the talking, like, I don't know. I just think it was a couple of one-off instances, especially with like Bosa and stuff. I think it's always going to happen. It's part of the game. I mean, shit, like NFL coaches, they would get, if it were anything like baseball, they would get, NFL coaches would get thrown at every game. There'd be one NFL coach, maybe multiples each week getting tossed out the way they verbally abuse the refs. I mean, even little freaking McDaniel like got into the ref's ass over a couple of plays. Like, so they don't throw coaches out like they do in baseball. But you know, I just think there were just a couple of high visibility instances, but I don't think it's an issue per se that needs to be looked at further. I think refereeing as a whole, holy shit, yes. I mean, something needs to happen, but it's just consistency. That's all you need to be, is consistent. You know, don't not call, you know, or call the flag on this play or this player, and then a week later a similar play happens to a different player or almost the same exact way, and it's not called, or it's called. Like, that is the issue with officiating. The biggest issue right now is the consistency of what is and what isn't. And it's just so fucking annoying, man. Like, seriously, I don't remember, you know, watching football in the early 2000s. Like, it was not even that bad then. I just feel like it's gotten so much worse. And I feel for the refs too, because they are under the most scrutiny now. There's cameras everywhere. There's replays. I mean, the ball has chips in it and all this crazy shit. Like, but just that's all we want, is just consistency. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll show you this video. It was Sean Livingston that this happened to. I mean, watch this ref lean into this. This is the instance I was talking about. That ref 100% instigates that right there. Sean Livingston's just like, well, you want to come at me and get some of this shit. Throws him out of the game for that crap. Like, insane that that's happening.
Get him out of here. Shouldn't have been that close to the ref's face.
Oh, come on. That ref was way out of line. I don't know, Seth, are you noticing this trend as well, or am I the only one that thinks this is trending upward?
I think they're getting a little more like quote unquote ballsy about talking to players and stuff like that and getting in their faces and stuff. But it is what it is. You can't really crack down on officials because the NFL is going to have the officials back for most instances, and they're going to get suspended unless it's like really, really, and like really against the official. What I'm trying to say is it's their fault. So it is what it is. I've seen a couple instances where they come running out and they block the field. I mean, that one right there was like, what the fuck? You don't grab a dude and jerk him off from a stance. I'm not saying you get hurt, but
that was wrong. That was big time wrong for sure.
Yeah,
but there's an instant. Then they're not letting the practice kick anymore, and I don't know what the hell. Why not? Because
why? It doesn't delay the game.
A couple weeks ago, a ref come up and actually reach his hand out and block the kick. It's like, what? Why? What are you doing?
Man.
You're just trying to get TV time? I think that's what a lot of it is. It's a lot of TV time.
That and according to Sean Payton, I guess coaches can't ask for a measurement anymore either. I was hearing him talk. So, because usually you get a little extra time, and maybe that's what McDaniel was trying to do, was ask for a measurement, and they just straight up didn't give it to him.